So you're thinking about adding an Undercounter ice maker to your kitchen, but you don't want to drop cash on something that ends up being more hassle than help. Maybe you've already got a freezer full of ice trays that never quite do the trick, or you're renting and can't drill into the cabinetry for a bulky built-in. Whatever your situation, the Maxx MIM25C is one of those appliances that looks simple on paper but can quietly change how you entertain or even how you drink your morning water. If you want to see the listing, the link is in the description so you can check the exact dimensions and finishes before you decide. The first thing that jumps out is the size. At 25 pounds of daily production and a shallow depth design, this isn't trying to replace a restaurant machine. It's built for a household that goes through a moderate amount of ice without needing a chest freezer bolted to the floor. If you're hosting game nights every weekend or you just like having a steady supply for cocktails without wrestling with trays, this can actually keep up. The front-breathing vents mean you don't have to cut a custom vent in your cabinetry, which is a huge win if you're not in a position to modify the space. That alone saves you from either hiring an installer or living with a unit that runs hot because it's starved for airflow. Now, let's talk about the ice itself. These are CRESCENT cubes, not the little nuggets you get from a portable countertop model. CRESCENTs melt slower in a glass, which is exactly what you want when you're trying to keep drinks cold without watering them down halfway through. The storage bin holds enough for a couple of parties, so you're not constantly refilling it mid-event. On the flip side, if you're someone who likes crushed ice for smoothies or snow cones, this isn't going to give you that texture. It's strictly for cubes, and if you're the type who crushes them yourself anyway, that limitation won't matter. Installation is where a lot of Undercounter ice makers trip people up. You need a dedicated water line, a nearby power outlet, and enough clearance for the front vents. If your kitchen layout already has a water line for a fridge or dishwasher, you're golden. If not, you'll either need to run a new line or use the included water reservoir, which only lasts a few batches before you have to refill it. That reservoir is handy for renters or folks who don't want permanent plumbing, but it also means you're babysitting the machine more often. If you're okay with that trade-off, it's a solid workaround. If you want truly hands-off ice on demand, plan on a permanent hookup. One thing that isn't always obvious until you live with an Undercounter unit is how it affects your kitchen's microclimate. Because this one breathes from the front, it pulls warm air in and pushes cool air out the same opening. In a tight galley kitchen, that can make the space feel a little warmer right in front of the machine. It's not a deal breaker, but if your kitchen already runs warm or you're sensitive to temperature shifts, you might notice it more. The stainless steel exterior looks clean, but it also shows fingerprints and water spots, so if you're not into wiping it down regularly, keep that in mind. Who should buy this? If you're a home cook who likes to entertain, a small family that goes through a lot of ice but doesn't want a massive chest freezer, or a renter who needs a plug-and-play solution, this fits the bill. It's also a good match if you already have a water line nearby and just need a reliable cube supply without the bulk of a full-size fridge with an ice maker. On the other hand, if you're crushing ice daily, need more than 25 pounds a day, or your kitchen layout can't accommodate the front clearance, you'll want to look elsewhere. The real value here isn't in the headline specs, it's in the fact that it quietly solves a daily annoyance without demanding a renovation. You plug it in, connect the water, and it starts making ice while you're at work or asleep. No more empty trays, no more wrestling with bags from the store, and no more wondering if your guests are judging your ice quality. It's one of those appliances that feels like a luxury until you realize how often you reach for ice, and then it just becomes part of the routine. If you've been on the fence about whether an Undercounter ice maker is worth it, this is the model that proves the concept without overpromising. It's not the biggest, fastest, or fanciest, but it does exactly what it says it will do day in, day out. Check the link in the description if you want to see the current price and dimensions, and decide whether it fits your space and your ice habit.